I was kind of tricked, to be honest. My father got into real estate after 22 years in the military. When I was in high school, I used to answer phones for his company on weekends. And then when I was done my schooling in Ottawa, my father and his business partner wanted to open their own company. So I was going to come back and run the office for a year, and then I was going to go back to Ottawa. So my father and his business partner encouraged me to take my courses, and I took my courses reluctantly at first, and then here we are about 15 years later. I think the first step is to establish what their needs and wants are, what their requirements in a house, and then what their financial capabilities are. And the first thing I need to do, especially with a buyer, is I need to establish whether or not that's realistic. Now for a seller, it's to establish what their financial goals are and to troubleshoot the property to see what challenges are going to be selling the house and where are those sellers going to next. My process in particular, I deal with probably most of the sellers. Phil is our buyer's agent. He deals with primarily the buyers. Natasha's role in the team is basically to make our clients' houses sparkle online. She does all of the preparation, all of the staging, all of the 3D tours, all of the video. So the process first that I take, if I'm dealing with a seller, is I have to establish what the value of the house is. I have to establish what their financial capability is and where they're going. Once that's done, and we've agreed on what the market value of the house is, then we come up with our marketing strategy and we implement that strategy. When we're dealing with a buyer, Phil will have a meeting with them at the office and run through what our process is and how we deal with buyers. And we will get them pre-approved. If they're not already pre-approved, we'll have them give us a needs and wants list to establish what their criteria is and to make sure it's realistic. And then we're able to take them out and show them some houses just to show them how we work and to make sure that we're all going to be a good fit. So we're very systems oriented. I believe if you have a proven system that works, it minimizes anxiety because clients know what to expect, okay, and you minimize any mistakes happening. I always viewed being in real estate, especially now with cell phones, email, text, you're always working. And when you have a young family, that can be challenging. And as a team, you can rely on one another. And the difficult thing about real estate is you can't be good at everything. So the team members I have, their strengths are in areas that I may not be as strong, and vice versa. And I think when you're building a team, the biggest thing is to understand what personalities you are and what personalities you need. But when you have those different types of personalities, you can attract various clientele that may respond better to Natasha, or they may respond better to Phil, or they may respond better to me. But as a team, you're able to function at a high pace and still have a life and still be able to take some time off every once in a while. Well, I grew up here. I'm not from here originally, but I do have family ties here. I've always liked the easier, slower pace of life that we have here in North Bay versus the hustle and bustle of the big city. There's lots of lakes here, lots outdoors, things to do. So that's something that for myself and my family, you know, raising kids and having a young family, it's a great place to live and it's a great place to raise your family. I don't know if I have an ideal home. It's as funny as that sounds, it would be based on what my wife wants. Well, one of the stories I like to tell is the first house that we bought. So her ideal home at the time was she wanted a 1,500 square foot bungalow on 10 acres, a full finished basement, a 2-car garage, an ensuite bath. So I looked at her and I said, that's not what you start out with. I says, you have the champagne appetite but Pepsi budget, right? That's not what you start out with. So she said, well, I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want to live in Ferris, I don't want to live in semi, and I don't want to have to deal with tenants. So I bought a semi in Ferris with a legal basement apartment. So the joke was, she had a say, but it didn't mean I listened to her, right? But that house there allowed us to subsidize our income when we had kids. It allowed us to refinance our property to pay off our student loan. And it's big enough for us to have a nice house to live in, but still go out and do stuff as a family. So that was our first house story. But I tell that story all the time because sometimes buyers don't realize that what they want is not what they need. The biggest thing for our team is that we're honest and we work hard, and the integrity that my team has, as far as I'm concerned, is second to none. And once again, I'm grateful and I'm fortunate that we're able to do what we do in the city that we do it. And you know, when you love what you do, it's not work. So I would probably say that's our case, and Natasha and Phil would say the same thing. They may say I'm a little pushier, but we'll just edit that out.